Have you ever found yourself in a situation where your emotions seem to defy logic? This time, we're diving into the vortex of a tale, a story painting the intricacy of love, friendship, and emotions. Our plot revolves around Emily, Sarah, and Mark. Emily and Sarah, childhood friends, and Mark, Sarah's partner. Life was simple until Emily recognized her affection for Mark. This new feeling shattered her emotional tranquility. It was a struggle between her loyalty to Sarah and her growing affection for Mark. Her heart was an arena for the clash of love and guilt. Emily facing a whirlpool of unexplored emotions, a reality she never anticipated. She was spiraling into the unfathomable abyss of sentiments, an entire universe of feelings she hadn't encountered, a realm of emotions she had never thought she would experience. Unexplored territories of emotions were opening up, and Emily found herself in a situation she never thought possible. In the face of such a dilemma, what would you do? Emily pondered this question, caught in an emotional storm. She had to grapple with her affection for Sarah, her best friend, and a burgeoning attraction for Mark. This emotional tussle was like a heavy albatross around her neck, a secret that bit at her guilt. Ultimately, Emily chose truth over deceit and decided to confess to Sarah, a choice not for the weak-hearted. She revealed her feelings for Mark, her vocal cords trembling under the pressure of her admission. "Sarah," she bravely began, "I have something important to share with you." This confrontation was not without its potential ramifications. Emily was aware that her confession could possibly fracture her relationship with Sarah, but she was prepared to take that risk, ready to make that sacrifice. She held on to hope that Sarah would comprehend, and their bond would be resilient enough to withstand this emotional tempest. Emily had taken a step that would change their lives forever. When faced with heartbreak and confusion, where do we find solace? Emily was in a state of emotional upheaval. She was grappling with feelings and loyalty that seemed to be at war within her. Forced into a journey self-discovery, she was swept up in a maelstrom of guilt, confusion, and pain. Standing at the crossroads of sacrifice and self-love, Emily felt overwhelmed. Yet, in this turmoil, Emily's resilience began to shine. She found solace in the things she loved, rediscovering her dormant passions and forming new connections. This journey became a therapeutic process that allowed her to heal and introspect. It provided her with a sanctuary where she could navigate the storm of her emotions and find tranquility. In the twisted maze of her feelings, Emily found a path to her inner self. She learned to appreciate herself in ways she never considered before. She found strength in her vulnerability and beauty in her scars. She realized that her worth was not defined by others, but by how she perceived herself. This understanding came with the realization that sometimes the toughest decisions lead to the most profound personal growth. Through her pain, Emily found a path to self-love and acceptance. In a world filled with hurt and betrayal, how do we find the strength to forgive? Sarah asked herself this question after Emily's confession shattered her relationship with Mark. Their bond, once strong and warm, had become a field of shattered trust and raw emotions. Sarah was now at a crossroads. Should she leave her resentment behind and forgive Mark, or should she cut with him completely? She was stuck between her love for Mark and her deeply bruised ego, but in her journey through this emotional maze, she realized that forgiveness was more about healing than forgetting the pain. Mark, filled with, knew the extent of his mistakes and was ready to atone. He was to do whatever necessary to regain the lost trust. In this process of forgiveness and reconciliation, they discovered the transformative power of forgiveness. They realized forgiveness was not a sign of, but a testament to resilience and love. Sarah and Mark had learned a valuable lesson about forgiveness and selflessness. What do we take away from such a complex situation? In the aftermath, Sarah and Mark decided to mend their bond, showcasing their steadfast love and allegiance. Amidst her emotional storm, Emily chose to support her friends, a grand gesture of self-sacrifice. They gleaned hard-earned lessons. Sarah unraveled the essence of forgiveness and tenacity, while Mark grasped the significance of trust and frankness. On her journey of self-realization, Emily learned that sometimes love involves relinquishing. She discovered solace in her interests and companions, demonstrating her endurance and evolution. Their voyage was laden with trials, but it heralded substantial self-development. They mastered the art of traversing their emotional maze, expressing transparently, and making tough choices with poise and bravery. In the end, they all realized the importance of sacrifice, self-discovery, and the complexity of human emotions.